Angeltalia, Army of Angels. Prologue. A Cop with Wings.
A city full of people, at times dangerous, but alive with light. The year is 2012 in the city of New York, and night is when crime is high. Crime for robbers, gunmen, serial killers on the loose. Sometimes criminals that are controlled by their boss. A demon, maybe? Well, that's where I come in. My name is Alfred. I am 21 years old, and I am a cop. You may think I'm just an ordinary man bringing justice to the criminals, but I know something they don't. I am more than human. I am a being with a pair of strong white wings on my back. I am able to fly, regenerate, and even swoop through places unnoticed. I'm not the only one who works in the police force. That man with the curl is my twin brother, Matthew. He may seem shy, but his looks are just as deceiving as a bear, beautiful but powerful. He had trained in the army as a cadet, a clever man. He's smarter than me and he's seriously good with martial arts. Mess with him and your history. Unlike me, he has no wings. He's pure-blood human, but we are still the same bloodline. Whenever my brother is in trouble, I come in to save him as a hero, and vice versa.
A red-eyed man is on the run, and Matthew is on the chase. It was a bad idea for him, but he insisted on the chase alone. Matthew has a strong lung capacity to be able to run for a long period of time without being breathless. He eventually cornered him into an alleyway. Walls that seem too high to climb, and slime makes matters worse, and the man has no escape. "Police! You are under arrest!" Matthew spoke, pointing a gun at the man. However, the man chuckles and kicks Matthew in the face. The red-eyed man reveals what appears to be sharp fangs and a pair of red bat wings. His hands grew claws and the nails were already digging into Matthew's shoulder, piercing his skin. The demonic man was close to finishing him off when he was thrown into the wall by another man, a strong grip to the throat and the wings overpowering the demonic soul. Alfred puts the man out of his misery. He falls to the ground lifelessly and disappears in a puff of smoke and fire. Alfred walks over to his brother and offers a hand.
You alright, bro?
He asked. Matthew takes the hand and is helped back onto his feet. Matthew sighed in annoyance. "Couldn't you at least come a minute sooner next time? He was close to Ow! Matthew held onto his shoulder where the claws dug in. Alfred has a closer look.
Sorry, bro. I'll hold this up for you.
Alfred restores the damage and all the blood lost from the wound. Matthew sighs. "Thanks, Al."
No problem, dude.
Alfred smiles. He looks over his shoulder.
What a troublesome demon.
Alfred asked. "No question about that," Matthew replied. "It's hard to believe he was on the run and he was harassing." Matthew's sentence drifts off as they leave the alley. The two brothers often help solve cases of crime and to either bring justice to them or to punish those who cause catastrophic offenses, even if they turn out to be demons. However, their lives were not all doom and gloom from having to fight and kill demons and criminals alike. Not all of the time, anyway. It all goes back to the past, a peaceful childhood. It was a different story, going back as far as the day they were born. Chapter 1. Once a Beautiful Family.
My brother and I were born in the year 1991. A beautiful year, as my father called it. He blessed God for giving him two healthy pair of twins. Now, this picture was taken when my brother and I were about 12, I think. The picture is quite old, anyway. You see the kid with the cowlick? That's me as a kid. Mother said I still had a baby face throughout my childhood. My father agreed with her on that one. Good old times. Right. The boy next to me is of course my twin, Matthew, or Maddie as I used to call him. I didn't like the nickname very much, but whatever, I still call him that. He had a small bear called Kumajiro, or Kuma for short. There are times when it keeps forgetting who Maddie is. He still has that bear now, but it's bigger. The young man next to me is my father. Surprisingly young for a father, right? Well, he's now in his 40s or 50s now, I think. But I'm not too sure how old he was at that time. Anyway, he had a heart of gold like any other father would. He was caring and sweet. Without him, I wouldn't know how to go through all the life struggles. Funnily enough, we never went to school. Not until the age of 15 at least. He was my homeschool teacher. He's a very smart guy. Well, no surprise, he was a Catholic school teacher before he became a priest and baptized new Christians and young children. Oh, did I mention that he was the one who baptized me and Maddie when we were still babies? Well, that was him. That's probably why I was really attached to him. And finally, we had come to the beautiful woman, our mother. All I remember is her name was Rosalina. She was as beautiful as a rose. She loved growing roses in our garden, even the rare blue ones. She was also caring and sweet, and her smile made me happy whenever I was afraid or alone. We were a happy family for about 13 years, but then that was when things took a turn for the worst. In 2006, the stranger decided to test a very dangerous experiment, and he asked my father for help. My father did try to convince him that it wasn't a good idea. However, I didn't want to say what happened after that. All I can say is, that was when my father lost his sight. Because of his blindness, he ended up jobless, and he couldn't afford to keep both me and Maddie. A friend of my father, Francis Bonnefoy, offered to help by taking care of my brother until things improved. I wasn't happy about this, but my brother moved away with his guardian far away from home. I never saw him again until 6 years later, when I joined the police and Matthew happened to have been placed as my partner in crime.
Chapter 2. Being Introduced. Fall was in full swing in New York. September brought on a small chill, telling of winter's slow approaching. Alfred had the best qualifications from university/college in law enforcement and has been hired to work alongside Matthew Bonnefoy. Upon arrival, Alfred recognized the curl and the purple eyes that of his twin brother Matthew. All grown up, and has been a police officer since he left college and cadet training 3 years ago. At first glance, Matthew didn't even react. He had a stern and determined face. Alfred had never seen his brother like this before. In fact, he didn't even see him at all since the accident. "Would you kindly follow me, Mr. Jones?" Matthew ordered, as he turns to walk into an office and Alfred follows nervously.
Damn, he's changed a lot. It's been a while since I last saw him, but he seems to have changed a lot more than I thought. And he's gotten taller too.
Alfred and Matthew walk into the young man's office. It was always clean, neat, and organized. Most desks would have been stacked and scattered with papers everywhere, but not Matthew's. He does have one of those cases where he wants everything to be clean and neat. Matthew checks that no one is watching and gives his brother a big hug. Alfred, surprised from this gesture, stands still, unsure of what to do.
It's been too long, Al. I've missed you, brother.
Matthew spoke more quietly this time, just like how he sounded when he was a kid. This made Alfred smile and tear up a bit. He hugs back, allowing a single tear to come down his face.
Missed you too, bro.
He muffled, trying to conceal the tears. Matthew wasn't convinced, and wipes away his tear.
It's okay, Al. You don't need to worry about that now. Besides, my boss suggested that you be my partner in helping me with cases and catching criminals,
Matthew explains with a smile.
But you must remember that I'm in charge of each case, and you are helping me with cracking them and to locate criminals. Am I clear?
Alfred nods with a straight face.
Yes, I understand.
Alfred replies.
Thank you. Right, let's get to work,
Matthew demands and goes to collect one of the current cases on his desk. 5 hours later, Matthew and Alfred finish work for the day and exit the building.
Al?
Matthew asks with a soft tone.
What's up, bro?
Alfred asks with a smile.
Are you planning on doing anything tonight? Because if not, you could meet someone very important to me. You could have dinner with us if you like,
Matthew explains. Alfred ponders with himself. He didn't really have anything planned because he did just move here for police work, and he doesn't know his way around just yet. Not since he graduated.
Sure, I'd love to, Matt.
Alfred responds, making Matthew happy.
Good. Right, let's hurry home. She can't be kept waiting,
Matthew adds, and the two run out onto the plaza square. They finally arrive at Matthew's home. It was a fancy apartment that looks modern on the outside, but traditional and complimentary on the inside. Matthew unlocks the door and allows Alfred to follow on.
Honey, I'm home,
Matthew calls and has been answered.
Welcome home. Did I hear someone else come in?
She calls.
Yes,
Matthew replies.
Come to the living room and see for yourself.
In 5 minutes, a young blonde-haired lady with colours in her ends walked up to Alfred with a friendly face.
Alfred, this is my girlfriend and partner, Sarah. Honey, this is my twin brother, Alfred. He's just started work at the police initiative.
Matthew gestures back and forth between the two.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Maddie has mentioned to me a lot about you.
Sarah and Alfred shake hands.
It's nice to meet you too, dude. This place is awesome.
Alfred smiles as he looks around.
Yes, I designed the room myself. I wanted something modern but sophisticated, and Maddie absolutely loves it.
Sarah beams with joy.
Nice! This is incredible!
After eating dinner, Matthew gives Alfred a lift home.
Here you go, Al,
Matthew says as they pull outside of Alfred's apartment complex.
Thanks, dude. So, I need to come in tomorrow morning?
Alfred asks to remind himself when to get to work.
9 a.m. at the office. Don't be late.
Matthew responds and Alfred exits the car.
See you tomorrow morning, dude.
Alfred waves as he heads up. Matthew waves back and drives home.
Funny, I haven't seen my brother in years, and yet I feel like he hadn't changed as much. Yes, he does seem to be a bit of a tough cookie, but that's because of work. Anyway, I'm glad I am his partner in crime. I couldn't think of a better partner than that of my brother.
Alfred tucks himself into bed. Meanwhile, lurking in the shadows, a dark figure watches from outside and disappears in the flash of lightning. Chapter 3. Coffee and Catching Up. It's been 2 days of hard work and a ton of paperwork for Alfred. Being a policeman is tough, but he was able to stay on top of it, with the help of his brother, of course. Alfred sits on his sofa chilling. He didn't have work today and he couldn't find anything to do. He would go and visit his father, but he wasn't sure. Ever since college, he rarely saw his father ever since he told Alfred that he can make his own way into the world. Alfred looks up at the ceiling and is about to drift off to sleep until his phone started ringing. He picks it up to see who the caller is. It's Matthew. Alfred smiles and answers it.
What's up, bro?
Hey Al, are you free right now?
Yeah, why?
Meet me at the corner cafe on 6th Avenue, 1 p.m. sharp.
Sure, I'll be there, dude.
Alfred hangs up, pondering with himself.
I wonder what Matthew wants to meet up with me for. I mean, we haven't really spoken as much since I've joined. Well, we have, but that was work stuff. We never properly talked, really. He and I haven't seen each other since he was adopted by my father's friend. I'm excited, but very nervous for some strange reason.
Alfred arrives at the corner cafe as Matthew said. He looks around and spots him sitting at a table with 2 mugs.
Hey Al, good timing. I ordered some coffee for you.
Matthew smiles. Alfred sits down with a chuckle.
Thanks, dude. You're awesome, bro.
Alfred drinks half of his coffee. The blend was bitter with a taste of honey. He never tried it before, but he really loves it.
So, what is it you want to see me about, dude?
Alfred asks.
Well,
Matthew begins in a quiet tone.
I was thinking, because of the amount of work we had, we never had a proper talk. You know, little catch-up time.
Alfred agrees as he continues sipping his coffee.
Fair enough, dude.
Alfred responds. Matthew places the mug onto the table and pulls a concerned face.
Brother.
Matthew starts but pauses, thinking twice about his question. Alfred looks at him confused.
How is father?
Matthew asks. Alfred froze. He didn't really know. All he knew was he found a job looking after valuables for the altar at church.
Well, he's doing alright. I've not seen him in a while, but he's getting better.
Alfred answered nervously.
I see.
Matthew responds, not convinced.
Is he...
Matthew questions, gesturing at his eyes. Alfred nods.
I don't think his blindness has made life any easier for him. And because of that, he sent me to school when I turned 15. And then he helped me get into college.
Alfred looks down. Matthew then thinks again about what to say.
Alfred, out of all the professions in the world, why did you choose to be a cop?
He asked. Alfred thinks long and hard. His reason was very different to most. Some joined to be good at catching bad guys. Others only because of the action. But Alfred had a different reason.
I want to find a way to bring peace to others. And to find a way to help my father see again.
Matthew was shocked from Alfred's answer. It was very ambitious at that.
Al, are you serious?
Matthew asked out of confusion.
Of course I am, dude. I've been serious since the day of the accident. I've gone through one painful process to make sure I could do something good rather than just watch from the sidelines, seeing people that I care about suffer.
Alfred answers with determination. Matthew was speechless. It wasn't only himself that had changed. Everything he once knew about Alfred had all changed since the day their father lost his sight.
You're willing to do that?
Matthew asks.
Yes, even if it means sacrifice. I want my father to be cured of being blind.
Alfred replied with a heroic expression. Matthew sighs, but smiles again.
I'm glad we've reunited, brother.
Matthew chuckles and goes to get some more coffee. Alfred looks through the window. Meanwhile, in a quiet area of Hamburg, a young girl was wandering around and came across a beautiful church of St. James. She decides to go inside. She loves the interior of it, the windows, the walls, all the sculptures, the furniture, and the arches above her. Suddenly, she bumps into a young man, and when she came to her senses, she saw that the man was wearing a bandana around his eyes, and he was reaching around to try and decipher who it was that bumped into him.
I'm so sorry, sir,
the girl said in guilt. The young man finally felt for her hands, and he comforted her since he could detect she was shaking.
It's all right, love. It wasn't your fault. You didn't know I was here,
he replied.